see. Hi, everyone. We're just going to give folks, oh, hi, Arlene. Thanks for letting me know about the survey. Just going to give folks a few seconds to pop on in. All righty. I think I'll go ahead and get started. Hi, hello, everyone, and welcome to Technology Tuesdays. My name is Lydia Nimke. I'm coming to you live from the house, and I'm very excited to bring you today's presentation on video calls. You are all muted and have your cameras turned off, but please don't let that stop you from asking questions about today's presentation in the Q&A box down below. With us today in the background, we have Beth Gabriel.
Hi, everyone. I'm going to fade away now. Thanks for having me again. And I will read your questions out loud to Lydia as they pop up and when we have time during the presentation. Have a good presentation, Lydia.
Thanks, Beth. So let's go ahead and jump in to talk about some of the main concepts we'll be covering today. We'll be talking, of course, about what video calls exactly are, and then we'll talk about 3 of the most popular services or applications for them: FaceTime, Facebook, and Google Duo. And then we'll also talk about a few honorable mention video call apps at the end, as well as some tips for amazing video calls. I do want to mention that we're specifically going to be talking about video call or video chat apps today, not video meeting apps, because of course you could have a whole Tech Tuesdays and then some on Zoom, on Google Meet, and Skype, but we're just focusing on a more mobile, more informal video call scenario today. Of course, there's no need to worry about taking any extensive notes for today's presentation, as I will send a follow-up email with a recording for you to refer to at your leisure. So, a video call is a phone call using an internet connection, sometimes called a VoIP or VoIP, which stands for Voice over Internet Protocol, that utilizes video to transmit a live picture of the person making the call. Video calls can be made using a computer's webcam or other electronic devices with a video capable camera, like a smartphone, tablet, or a video capable phone system. Video calling is just like a regular phone call, except you can see the person you're calling and they can see you. This makes each call pretty special because you don't have to miss those big moments. You can literally see them with your own eyes. Maybe you're seeing a grandchild's first steps, or a sibling that may live far away, or anything else that you don't want to miss. It'll feel like, you know, the next best thing to being there. The best part about video calling is that it's super easy to do on your phone, and you can make video calls wherever you have internet access. Now, I do want to make a distinction between integrated and third-party apps. The simplest way for me to kind of describe the description, the difference between the two, is that integrated apps come pre-installed and third-party apps require an additional download. But it can go even further than that, right? Because FaceTime is integrated on Apple devices, it means you can initiate FaceTime calls from a phone's contacts or from a text message. FaceTime specifically is not available for download on non-Apple devices. Now, on the other side of the coin, Google Duo is integrated on most Android devices, meaning that it comes pre-installed and you can access it from your contacts and your text messages as well. But Google Duo is also available for download on almost any device. So there's kind of that important distinction. Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, and Discord are great examples of third-party apps, and these will all require an additional download of an app, no matter what, before being able to use them. So I thought it was pretty important to make that distinction because if you have an iPhone, say, it's going to be very simple for you to FaceTime another iPhone user because it's already installed on both of your phones, it's already integrated. If you are a Android user and you have Google Duo integrated on your phone, it's going to be super easy for you to use Google Duo with people who also already have it downloaded because it's integrated. However, if you don't have any Apple devices, it's going to be nearly impossible for you to FaceTime. So it's important for you to know what apps are available to you, what apps are only available on certain devices, and what apps you just have to do that additional step of downloading before you're able to use them. We'll talk more about figuring out the best ways to do video calls as we go along. So as I mentioned, FaceTime is only available on Apple devices, iPads, iPhones, and Mac computers. But as of recently, they've actually updated to allow the Apple device user to send a link to invite people who don't have an Apple device to participate in a FaceTime call. Now, this does make the interaction relatively one-sided. So I, as the iPhone user, always have to initiate the call, which may or may not be something you want to do if you want it to be a regular, video call type relationship. So to start a FaceTime call, you're just going to want to launch the FaceTime app. As I mentioned, it's pre-installed on your iPhone. Even if you've never seen it, you can always pull your screen down to open up your search bar. I'll go over this in the demonstration, don't worry, to find it and access it that way. Once you're in the FaceTime app, you'll type New FaceTime at the top of your screen, and then begin typing the name of the person you want to chat to, and select their name when it pops up. From there, you'll tap the New FaceTime button and you'll be in a FaceTime. Alternatively, like I mentioned, you can use that create a link option to copy and paste the link and send it to your contacts or send it via email. And we'll see that a little bit more as we go on. For group calls, it's also a pretty simple affair. You're again going to open the FaceTime app and tap the button for a new FaceTime. And instead of just selecting one name, you're going to add up to 32 to the group. Hit the FaceTime button when you're done and they will all be added. You'll be calling all of them simultaneously. And from there, you can have your group video call. Now I do have some screenshots here, just in case my screen share gets all wonky. I wanted to make sure that we all had, something to go off of. All right, so this is what your main page of FaceTime looks like when you log in. Here is that create link option, and you can use that with people have Android devices, or if you just want to send a general link out via email or via group text. It'll open up this share screen down below, and you can choose how you want to share that link you've created. If you select the new FaceTime button, you'll be taken to this screen, in which case you'll want to start writing out the name of the person you're looking to do a video call with. And tap on them when you see them. And we are initiating a new FaceTime. And we'll hit that FaceTime button down below. Or we could add several more people to this FaceTime call. And then finally, we are in the FaceTime itself. So this is me actively calling Charlie. He never answers the phone because I'm just taking screenshots, but once he does answer the phone, my video preview would shrink down to this corner and he would be the one, taking up most of the screen. All right, before we move on to talking about Facebook Messenger, I'm going to show you what a FaceTime looks like practically on the phone. So give me a few seconds to set that up. Alrighty. All right. So now we are in the iPhone and I'm just going to open up the search box by pulling down on the screen and searching for FaceTime. And there we are. And what we're going to do is tap on new FaceTime here. You see, Charlie is already suggested. All of these suggestions are people I've texted recently who have iPhones. So I will click on Charlie. And from there, I can click on more people very simply to add them all, or use the backspace button to remove them. And from there, I'm just going to hit that FaceTime button. It's a great angle. And I have a little poster in a chair behind me to kind of illustrate the person I would be chatting with. And from there, we're in our FaceTime call. And there are a lot of different kind of options to enhance your FaceTime call to get more value out of it. You can take a picture in the lower right-hand corner, for example. You can screen share with this option under the end button here. And you can even add effects. So on my preview, down at the bottom here, we have this star, I guess I'll call it, that we can click on to add different effects, add text. I'll go ahead and add a sticker. And we can add that in and delete it when we're done using it. So there are a wide variety of things you can do to kind of spice up your FaceTime call, make it a little bit more fun, or get more utility out of it. So we can go ahead and end this unless there are any questions specifically about FaceTime.
I don't see any in the question and answer box, Lydia.
Oakley dokley.
Oh, never mind. I retract my statement. Arlene wants to know what video call system uses that half and half screen method, one person on the top half, the other person on the bottom half. I used it on a medical call. I'm not sure.
Me neither. Me neither. I think a lot of, let me turn this off because we don't need to be seeing that anymore. We'll go back to this. All right. I think a lot of medical appointments are either through Zoom, I've had some that way, or they use their own like proprietary, specifically locked down through HIPAA medical meeting software type tools. But whatever link you use to join that meeting, if you still have like the email they sent you, or, sometimes doctors' offices have those secure text message or email things, you might be able to see what the link they sent you to join that meeting says and kind of find out from there what they were using. All right, so let's move on to Facebook Messenger. If you are a Facebook user, you already have access to Facebook Messenger, which is Facebook's chat service that includes video. You can use this on the web version that is integrated with Facebook.com or on your mobile devices, but you do have to download the separate Messenger application. Again, it is a relatively simple affair to start a video call in the Messenger app, and you will probably start to notice some trends as we go through this slide. Once you open the app, you'll begin typing the name of the person you want to chat with and select it once it appears. Your messages, if you have any with that person, like your text-based messages, will appear. And then next to their name, you'll tap the video or camera icon, and then you are in a Facebook Messenger video call. Group calls are also pretty simple. You can even add new group members to calls in progress. So many times when we're talking to people about something, a light bulb goes off and you're like, oh, I know that Beth knows about this certain subject. Should we bring her into this conversation? It's very simple to do that on Facebook Messenger. And this is the only one that I found is really easy to add people to calls in progress, which is a benefit, I think. So on a mobile device, you have a little icon that appears in the lower right-hand corner. That is a person icon with a plus sign on them. Pretty easy to find. And on a computer, you'll click to display the chat controls and then click add group members. But it's important to know that group calls on Messenger require everyone to have a Facebook account. So if you're hosting a larger group call and you don't know whether everyone has a Facebook or Instagram account, that's when I'd recommend you to go over to Messenger Rooms, which allows you to video call up to 50 people with no time limits. The only caveat is that the host has to have a Facebook account. It's almost as simple as creating a link in FaceTime. It's pretty much just that simple. You just click to create room and share the link via email or social media, however you choose. All right, so let's look at some screenshots of Facebook Messenger calls. So as we can see here, once you open Facebook Messenger, you'll see the list of people you've recently messaged. And you also will see your icon to create a room. I know you can't see it there because it's minimized, but that is where you would go if you wanted to create a room. But if we're just doing a regular video call, we can go up to search and start typing the name of the person we want to do a video call with. Again, we found him, we'll click on his name, and we'll see any previous messages that we have sent each other. I'm gonna tap on the video icon next to his name, or the camera icon. And from there, we're in a similar preview function where I'm just seeing a live video of myself. Once he answers, then I will be able to go ahead and see him instead of just me. Facebook also has a lot of fun features, Facebook Messenger. Things like games you can play and videos you can watch together and things of that nature. And we can kind of go over that in a few moments. But that is all accessed through this little menu icon right in the middle bottom of your Facebook Messenger call. Now, starting a video call from facebook.com is relatively similar. The things are just in slightly different locations. So as long as you know where to look for them, I am absolutely confident that you will be able to start a video call from either. You're just gonna log into your Facebook account on the web, click the messenger icon, select the person you want to video call, and then once your messages are open, click the camera icon. So I have some screenshots to show you of this process as well. So I'm all logged into my Facebook account here. Up on the top right corner is where you'll find the messenger access. Once you click on that icon there, this sidebar opens up again with messages from people I've spoken to recently. If we don't see who we're looking to chat with, we can click in the search box and start typing their name and it'll eventually appear. If we want to create a room, we can do that with this button right here. It's the same icons, whether you're in the Messenger app or on the web, but they're just in a little bit different places. From there, once we select the person we want to chat to, again, we're going to see their messages from their most recent messages to us. We're going to tap the video call icon, camera icon, and the messenger call window is going to appear. So as you can see, pretty similar. I have my own little preview down here. I have my space to add people to our group. And once he answers, I'll be able to see him and so on. Now I can do a short demonstration in Facebook Messenger. So let's go ahead and do that. Awesome. So again, we're going to open up that app. So it's called Just Messenger. I've done this a few times if you can't tell. So here's where we can go to create a room and we can just click to select all the people we want to include in our room. I'm planning a housewarming party or a baby shower for a bunch of people I'm friends with. I can just go through and select as many people as I want and invite them to come to this room. But I don't necessarily want to do that. So I'm going to click on the name of the person I want to do a video call with and click on that camera icon. It's ringing on the iPad down here, so I'm going to answer it. And we're back looking at my fun poster. So similarly to FaceTime, we can take a photo. We can add different effects, group effects, backgrounds, and we'll talk more about having fun in your video call apps. Oh, this one's cute. We can touch up the lighting to make it, have a different vibe. But if you push on the menu in the center, it opens up a way to look for videos, TV and movies, music, different uploads. So you can really do things together, which I think is pretty cool. And if we wanted to add people to this group call, all we'd have to do is push that little add icon on the bottom right-hand side. And then I have all these folks I could put into this call as well. But I think we can end this call for now. Those are some of the fun features. And the person on the other end can do all these things as well. I just can't manage 2 devices at once in addition to the Zoom webinar I'm also running. But ideally, there's going to be another person on the other end of the call who is doing fun things with you as well. All right, back to the slides. To talk about Google Duo. Now, all you need to get started using Google Duo for video calls is a Google account, and so does everyone you are chatting with. Google Duo is free to use and doesn't have any time limitations, just like FaceTime and Facebook Messenger. And it works both on the iPhone and Android devices, but iPhone users will need to download the app first. So I do want to point out that you can kind of see from the initial descriptions of these different services that each is good for specific circumstances, right? So if you've got 2 iPhone users who want to do a video call with each other, super simple to use FaceTime. If you have many people, 40 people with all different phones, but they all have Facebook accounts, a Facebook Messenger room is going to be the best for you to do your video call on. If you have many people with different phones, but not everyone has a Facebook account, Google Duo is going to be probably your first choice for that. So it all depends on what circumstances you're running with. Most people, majority of people, I want to say, who have a phone or a smartphone, have a Google account. I won't say all, but a good portion of them. So Google Duo might have the widest reach, except for that initial barrier that iPhone users, people who have older Android phones, may have to download the app first. So, you have to weigh the pros and cons and weigh, the access issues each time you kind of want to set up a video call of your own. So to start a video call in Google Duo, you're going to open up the app, Start to enter the name of the person you're calling and tap to see their contact information. I'll tap the video call icon to initiate a call, or you can tap new call and choose from all of your contacts who have Duo downloaded. Group calls are also super simple. Tap new call and tap create group, and then you can select up to 31 people to add to your call. Now, unlike Messenger video calls, Google Duo doesn't let you add new people to an ongoing video chat. You have to start the group call with all the desired participants invited from the start. If you all of a sudden realize, oh, this person, I need to talk to this person about this, I don't know the answer to this question, and you left them out of the video call in the beginning, you have to start the whole video call over again. So it's important to make sure you invite everyone from the beginning with this one. So here are some of our screenshots. Of course, once we open that Google Duo application and we are taken into this main screen here. So we can start in two ways. We can either start by searching or go to new call first. So if I'm just looking to quick chat to Charlie, I'm just gonna quick type his name up at the top, find his contact information, and click to video call him. Or I can go to new call. And once I hit new call, I'm gonna see an option to create a group, in which case I can add all the names of the people who have Google Duo downloaded, or I can again just search for the name of the specific person and video call them that way. Now, this blue box you see here is not a part of the Google Duo interface. There are just a lot of phone numbers right here, and that's a little bit too much for me to share on these people's behalf. So I just tried to cover enough that it's not identifiable. That is also why I won't be doing a demonstration in Google Duo, because I can't cover it all up on the fly. And once you click on the name of the person you're hoping to do a video call with, you'll start to see your preview and you can click the video call button there. And again, quite similar to all the other apps we've looked at today, you have a preview of the caller while we're waiting for the person being called to pick up. One unique thing about Google Duo is that you can actually send a video message. So where we have voicemail and voice messages, you can send a video message to be like, hey, I miss you, call me back, or whatever the case may be. So I thought that was neat. Now we're gonna talk a little bit about those fun features I mentioned. To be honest, the people I speak to most with video calls are little kids, right? They're my nephews and my niece. And I don't, I remember being little and being tossed on the phone with my aunt and uncles and just being like, hi, okay, what do you want me to do? But with video calls, I can make it super fun to be on a call with Auntie Lydia. I can be an octopus the whole time we're talking, or a flower. And, you know, I think it's got to be infinitely more engaging for our young people to be entertained while they're on a call instead of just being expected to have a grown-up conversation with like hardly any visual stimuli. So I don't want it to feel like a chore to talk to me ever, so I'm often an alien or a spaceman or something like that. The AR facial effects are what give you the ability to be an octopus or a cow that is actually talking. You can also use more subtle effects like photo filters, And I showed you a few times how to take some screenshots and photos. And I did show you all how to use the virtual backgrounds on Facebook. And some of them are quite interactive, as you did see. Now, for some honorable mentions, WhatsApp is a popular messaging app around the world. You can make voice and video calls for up to 4 users. The calls are on a phone's data plan or via Wi-Fi, so the voice calls won't eat up your voice minutes. Since it has such a far reach, like globally, it's one of the best choices to stay in touch with international loved ones. So this works on Android and iOS, Windows and Mac computers, and has max users of 4. Discord is also a popular app for people to chat while they're playing video games, but it also supports video calls with up to 25 users. It has a lot of easy features that you can utilize, like the ability to alter others' audio levels, and you can create multiple channels for different groups. House Party is different from most video chat apps because it has sort of a different format. I've never personally used this one. I'm interested to try it at some point though. House Party allows you to join the house, and then others in your contact list can kind of jump in and out freely. This lets you connect with people you may not think to video chat necessarily. House Party also has a lot of games included, like they've made to be native for the House Party app. Games like Heads Up, Trivia, Finish the Song Lyric. So you could have a lot of fun hanging out with your contacts list for an evening. But it does have a maximum of 8 users, and it works on Windows, Mac, Android, and iOS, which is Apple products. And then finally, Marco Polo. Marco Polo calls themselves the video walkie-talkie, as it lets you send short videos to your friends. Now, unlike Snapchat, which also does something quite similar, Marco Polo actually saves the videos in a chat so you can return to them in the future. It's a great way to connect with loved ones when you can't pick a specific time to video chat. So there are some instances where people have big life events happening and they want to share it, with their extended family, but they don't necessarily want to share it with everyone on Facebook. They don't necessarily want to post it to Instagram. Maybe you just want, your parents and all your aunts and uncles to see you in your wedding gown, or you want all your grandparents and your step grandparents to see your kid take their first steps. There are just some instances where you don't want a wide reach, but you want everybody to be able to treasure a memory with you. And not always is it possible, especially when you're dealing with cross time zone communication, to get everyone together and be like, okay, we're all going to watch little Joey take some of his first steps in the garden, or we're all going to watch me try on my wedding gowns. This way you can just give them the video, easy peasy, and they can view it at their leisure as many times as they want. This is only a mobile application that works on Android and iOS, and it has a maximum of 200 users. So pretty wide reach. Now we will move on to talking about just some general tips and tricks for better video calls. And there's really no right or wrong way. Depending on the formality of the video call, how well you know the people you're talking to, you can disregard any or all of these tips. I'm just throwing them out there just in case you're curious to know them. So first up, you want to create the right environment. Find a quiet place and close the door. So a concert is probably not a great place to take a video call from. You also want to try and clean up your space that you're in if at all possible, and choose a background that suits you, that uh, you can stand out from. If I was wearing all gray today and I was against a gray wall, I might kind of blend in that gray wall. Things like that. Improve the lighting when you can. Lighting is so important in these virtual environments and in these video calls. For example, I have a light here that's pretty much dedicated to just shining on my face. It's a task light, but all it does is light me from the front. If I turned it off, I get a lot darker, and you can almost not even see my eyes because the reflection of the computer in my glasses is so startling. So we'll turn that back on for sure. And there, the reflection's gone. You're going to also want to change the camera position so that it's flattering and suitable for whoever you're talking to. I see a lot of situations where folks are doing video calls where the camera is like at some odd angle. If you just prop the phone or the tablet up on a book, take a step or two back, that's usually more than suitable enough. So making a better connection. Sometimes you may find your video is a little laggy. You don't have, the refresh rate or the frames per second. It's making things all jerked around and you can't really see what you're trying to see. That's the whole reason you're making a video call. You can try, if you're on a computer, to connect via Ethernet instead of using the Wi-Fi. You can also try to minimize network traffic. So usually when I'm doing a Zoom, anything with Zoom, especially a live streaming, everyone in my house knows, it's just my husband, but he knows he's not going to be playing video games, using up the internet, because it's really important that my work isn't, disrupted and laggy. So I tend to ask him to just use his cell phone's data, and I'll be off in an hour or so and he can go back to doing whatever he needs to do. You can also close unused applications. So oftentimes on our phone, we have tons of apps that we use occasionally that are just running in the background. And you don't necessarily realize it until you look at all those apps and then you see, oh, I've had 40 apps going. You can close those apps out entirely so they're not using up any of your kind of network bandwidth. And then if all else fails and you're going to be doing video calls relatively frequently, you might want to upgrade your internet plan so it's faster, so it has a higher upload and download rate. That might be worth looking into if it's something that's in your budget and something you are interested in doing. Now, definitely for this next point, take it with a grain of salt. You know who you're talking to. So in some circumstances, I look beautiful when I'm doing a video call. In other circumstances, I am talking to my sister and I'm literally laying in bed. So mind your appearance, maybe. But it's important still to get comfortable, right? And to minimize distractions, because even if you are, listening to the person, if you're watching TV behind your phone, they may be able to see the reflection in your eyes of the TV. They may see that you look distracted. They, in my case, can probably see the reflection fully in my glasses as well. So try to be engaged with whoever you're chatting to. Try not to fidget, because fidgeting on the phone often results in a shaky camera. And in my family, I've even heard of some people getting nauseous because they're talking to a little kid who's like jiggling the phone a little bit around. So you don't want to make anybody nauseous because they're talking to you. And as hard as it may be, you want to try and look at the camera and not look at yourself, right? It's hard. Everyone struggles with it, but whenever possible, try and look at the camera and not yourself. On most smartphones, your forward-facing camera is going to be somewhere in the top edge of your phone screen. So just try and aim to look at the top of your phone and you should be okay. Especially when you're on these larger video calls, it's important to mute yourself when you're not speaking, right? Mute yourself and remember to unmute yourself when you are speaking. I would be far less worried about interrupting someone because everyone understands, like, we can't judge each other's body language the same way we would if we were in person to know that someone else is about to speak. So, but if you talk for like 3 sentences, a paragraph or so, and you're unmuted, it's kind of a bigger faux pas than, interrupting someone accidentally. So mute yourself and unmute yourself whenever possible. And I would recommend that if there's more than 5 or 6 people, the background noise can get a little overwhelming, especially if multiple people have background noise and someone else's dog barks, it can get a little loud. So that's just a tip. And then finally, prepare. If you are hosting a messenger room with a bunch of different folks, you are going to want to make sure you have all your ducks in a row. You've played around with the platform. You've taken a look at, sending links to things via chat. You've taken a look at how to share your screen, the different, features you want to use. You should definitely not be trying out things for the first time actually in a live messenger room, unless you're just with family and you're really comfortable not knowing what to do. But even in those instances, and I've been in some of them, it's, you want to put your best foot forward and you don't want to waste anyone's time, of course. So prepare whenever possible. And then one final thing I'll say on this note is that there's no harm going to come from you calling a friend or a family member just to test some of these things out. If you want to just FaceTime or Google Duo one of your buddies, that is the best way to learn about any of these services. So I highly recommend doing that. If you have it available to you, go ahead, take advantage of it. Maybe you could see someone you haven't seen in a while. All right, that's what I have for you all today. Are there any questions?
So let's see. Margaret asks, this is more of like a what to do on a Zoom call with little kids. She reads to her grandchildren 6 and 4, but it's awkward on Zoom. She holds up the book and it just is kind of hard. She tries to send copies so they can follow along, but that is expensive. Any ideas? They also do craft projects and it's hard to show them what she's doing while she's on the call.
Yes, I have some ideas. Of course, I'm the Tech Tuesdays person, so let me know if this is like out of the realm or maybe doable. So for reading to them, we actually just got this great new service at the library called Canopy that actually has like read along videos that you may find useful to share with them via the screen. I don't know. I would definitely check it out because if you are a Milwaukee Public Library card holder, you get 5 free items there per month. So I would check it out. And I think all the kids stuff is creditless. So you get to check out as much as you want. Awesome. But then also there's this, if you're using Zoom specifically, there's this neat thing you can do called an input from a second camera. Let me pop up there. Yeah, content from a second camera. So I have one camera looking at me right now, right? My second camera could be, and I've done this occasionally in the past, a camera looking down at the book, which might be easier and might give them a better view of the pages in the illustration, as opposed to you having to hold something up like this. That might be an option. And that might also help with crafting because they can see your hands as they see their hands, if that makes sense. So that could be an option for you as well.
I was thinking too, for a low tech solution, if you would both put a book on hold at the library and then they would have a copy and you would have a copy, and then you wouldn't necessarily have to buy the books.
Absolutely.
Which is always cool. I'm trying to think. I've got kids similar aged, what they like to do. They like to go on tours of like the house that people are into. Be like,
Kids.
hey.
Kids love to go on tours to the house. I don't know why.
They're nosy.
Yeah.
Love it. Let's see. She says, thanks for the suggestions. And then ask, can you use a phone as a second camera?
I have not used a phone as a second camera. You could always share this. So how I was sharing my phone to show you Facebook Messenger and FaceTime and things like that, you could share the phone like that and just have your camera app open. So yeah, I guess so. You can email me if you have more questions about that, though. I'd be willing to like write the steps I'm saying down and send them back to you. So you're not just going off of what I randomly said.
Lydia, you had your class with like things to do over Zoom on Thanksgiving. Maybe that would be helpful too.
Yeah, I can definitely include that in the follow-up email. Absolutely. All right. If there are no more questions, I want to thank you all so much for joining us today. And if you're interested in learning more about video chat, video calls, I use this book as a source. It's one of our more recent technology books that we've gotten at my library. I'm going to return it. It's listed on the slide here, but you can definitely put it on hold and run through it and see some things for yourself. It talks about setting up second cameras and running good virtual events and all that nature. So if you're interested, I do highly recommend it. You can look forward to receiving that follow-up email from me in a few days. And once again, I want to thank you all for joining us and have a wonderful rest of your week.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good week.